Okay, so we're live. People are going to see us now. Okay, so we're live. People are going to see us now. Yeah, we're live.
All right. Welcome, everyone. We're just going to give a few more minutes until we start. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and Byron will ask the questions to me, and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. I hope that everyone's getting excited for the race. I know that I'm certainly excited. Byron's excited. The whole team is excited. Tina is especially excited because Tina won't actually be helping out at this race. She'll be participating. She's running the 24-hour race. So, yeah, best of luck to Tina. We'll be cheering her on, just like we're cheering the rest of you on. Hope that everyone's making their last-minute preparations. My whole house is like Tally in the Valley Central right now. Every room has stuff, and the trailer's all loaded for the race, ready to go. I'm pretty pumped about it, and we're hoping to put on a amazing event for you. Just a couple minutes, and then we'll get started. I'll mention this once we start, but this is our first attempt at doing this with the live streaming of the pre-race meeting. So please be patient. Hopefully, if there's any glitches, we'll do our best to work through those. And then, of course, we will be live streaming the actual race as well. So we'll have some information on live streaming during the pre-race meeting.
We got 23 people so far.
23 people?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, this will be available
Right.
after we've concluded the meeting, so it'll just sort of stay up there forever.
Yeah, sounds good. So Byron, are you excited?
I'm super stoked. I can't wait. I love the weekend. It's just sort of kind of, Friday night, have camp out at the conservation, wake up really early, let you in.
Yep. You're overnight security.
That's right. I don't want anybody taking any bags of chips or anything like that.
Yeah, should be great.
And then bang the gong a couple times. The legendary gong.
Mm-hmm. The legendary gong, yeah. So shout out to our friend Grace Panoff, who finished a 100-miler in the UK yesterday, by the way. Her and her sister Jane, both of them. Sounds like it was a tough one weather-wise.
Yeah.
A lot of rain, she was saying. So she got through it. Awesome. It was so cool getting to track her the whole time. They all wore the trackers. Pretty big race called the Rat Race, actually, in the UK. So I think that Andrea Lynn Sloan did the same race as well. So congrats to those locals who represented Canada and the UK and did a wonderful job. Looked like an amazing race.
So it looks like the whole thing here with the chat window is working well.
Yeah, Dan says, I do YouTube full time. I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dan, let's chat at the race. That
Absolutely.
sounds pretty cool. Maybe he's like an influencer. He's got like some. That's what he does. He's got like one of those YouTube golf influencers or running influencers or something like that. I don't think that's what he means, but that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm always open for ideas and suggestions.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
how-tos. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's
He's not manage. Yeah, right on.
yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. All right. It's after 7. Do you want to get going, Byron? What do you think?
Let's do this. We've
Okay.
got 28 people so far. Oh, looks like
20.
we're spinning. Hold on. Yeah, no, we're good. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So this will people can watch this after the fact as well. So I know that this doesn't work for everyone. Some people are still working, or maybe they're out doing their shakeout run right now for the race. But this will be available afterwards as well. So anyways, to those of you who are here, thanks for tuning in. Just want to go over a few things, and more than anything else, I want to take this opportunity to answer any questions that people have, because we do tend to get a lot of emails in the last week for the race, and it's kind of challenging for us to get to all of them because we're so focused on the race. And the last couple of days before the weekend, we're actually on the race site, at the race site, setting up and everything like that. So I was mentioning just a few minutes ago that I've got Tallying the Valley stuff spread out all over my house right now between there's 425 runners this year. That's about what we have had the last couple of years. That's our max capacity. So it is sold out. So like I have 425 shirts and 425 buffs and race bibs and medals and all of that. So it's kind of all over the place. And my daughter and I have been baking muffins today for the aid station, and muffins and cookies. So I'm also going to make some soup in the next couple of days for the night. But anyways, let's get to the pre-race meeting. First of all, thanks so much for choosing to do this race. It means a lot to us. This is a pretty epic race. It's a pretty big one. Between this and the Beeve, those are our two busiest races in terms of the number of participants. But this one has special challenges for us because it's a 30-hour race. It's our only 30-hour race now. So this, there's certain challenges that come with trying to put on an event through the evening. And I think that we've gotten better at it over the years. And hopefully this year we've got it dialed in, because we really feel like we're kind of a little more on top of things than we usually are at this point. We've really been trying to get well organized. So the first thing I want to talk about is the weather. It's probably going to be hot. I know that it's hard to say this far out. We're not that far out, but it's still a little bit unpredictable. Right now it's saying 21 to 29 degrees. You should be prepared for running in hot weather, and also for possibly running in rain. They are calling for a little bit of rain between Saturday and Sunday. And the rain showers are less than 1 millimeter at this point. That's what they're saying. If 2 years ago, we had a major downpour right at the start of the race and for most of the day, and it was absolutely torrential, and it tore up a section of the course, and we did have to reroute a short section of it. And we are prepared to do that again this year, although I really don't think that will be necessary. But this time I have found a different route. So last time we extended the rail trail section, which people at first were like, oh, more rail trail. But by the end, when they were really tired, they're like, yes, more rail trail, please. This is not on the rail trail. It's a new section that we don't utilize in any of our races. So it's about the same distance. There's really one hill that we're concerned about because it's a steep descent. It's really short, but it's a steep descent, and it has a tendency to get really muddy and slippery. And 2 years ago at the race, literally 90% of the people that went down it were sliding,
covered in
falling.
mud by the time they came into the aid station.
Yeah, by the time they got to the aid station, which was only 50 meters away from the hill, they were covered in mud and sometimes scrapes and bruises. So we rerouted partially because for safety. I mean, that was the number one reason, is safety. But also, we need to be stewards of the trail and the conservation area. So tearing up the course like that isn't good for anybody. So we are prepared to do a reroute, although I really expect that we won't have to. Because of the heat, it's a really good idea to bring some ice with you to the race this year. We're stocked up on ice. We're going to have as much ice as we can handle. We do have a chest freezer that we're bringing to the race that will be filled with freezies and ice. But if it gets really hot, it's really hard to keep enough ice in stock. So it'd be great if you have a cooler, you want to bring a little bit of ice. I think it's a great idea. The next thing I want to talk about is the race schedule. Hopefully everybody got the pre-race email, but I know that lots of people don't. I think that what part of the issue is, the reason why not everyone's getting the pre-race emails lately is when you register, there's a button that you can check to opt into receiving emails from Happy Trails. And if you don't click on that, it sounds like there's a chance that it goes to your junk mail or your bulk mail. So a lot of people haven't been getting it. If you haven't received it and you want a copy of it, just message us. Check your junk mail or your bulk mail first. Then message us and we'll be happy to forward you the message. But essentially Friday night, you can pick up your race kit from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Dundas Valley Conservation Area. You can set up a tent there. You can drop off your stuff, but keep in mind that it's relatively unsupervised through the night. I know Byron's going to stay on site for the night, but he's my security. He's not your security. So he'll be watching over our stuff. I think it's really safe to leave stuff there, but just as a precaution, we do have to say that you're doing so at your own risk. And definitely, please do not leave food out at the conservation area. That will for sure get either raccoons or Byron, one of the two. They will get into your stash of food. So you don't want to leave any food. Saturday morning, gates open at 6 a.m. If you come before 6 a.m., you will be waiting, and that line does have a tendency to back up onto Governor's Road, which is problematic and dangerous. So do not come before 6 a.m. You will not be able to get in before 6 a.m. And our priority when you first arrive is for the 100 milers, because they start at 7 a.m. They can start checking in at 6:15. We'll get them off at 7. I think there's 37 100 milers this year, so it will not take us long to check them in. If you see that there's nobody else in line and you're not in the 100 miler, feel free to come up to the race kit and pick up your stuff. But if there's other people in line that are 100 milers, they'll take priority until we get them off. And then as soon as we're done with getting the 100 milers checked in, then everyone else is welcome to check in, pick up their kits. The 6-hour, the 12-hour daytime race, the 24-hour, and the Gong Show race will all be starting promptly at 7 a.m. At 8 a.m. 100 milers at 7 a.m., everyone else at 8 a.m. And then the 12-hour night racers will start at 8 p.m. For those of you who are doing the 7K or the 21K, those events will take place starting at 9 o'clock on Sunday, and you can start entering the park at 7 a.m. on Sunday. So I know that was a lot of numbers, a lot of information thrown at you, but that is in our pre-race email as well, hopefully that you received. If not, let us know. When you arrive, we do have a large parking lot. Really, there's only one place that you can go. So you're going to drive in about 750 meters. You're going to hit the parking lot. Byron, do we have volunteers who will be corralling them, who will be directing them in parking?
We have a couple volunteers, but we could use a couple more.
Okay, so we do, yeah. Basically, the parking lot is going to get very full. So please don't take up more than one parking spot. Carpool if that's an option. But like I said, there's only one place really for you to park. So there is a very, very small parking lot by a pond that you will see as you enter the park. That is not where we are parking. They do not want us to park there. It's called the Stacy Meadow Pavilion. Please do not park there. Just park in the main parking lot. This is a very important one. This is entering the park after dark. So this really is for our Gong Show participants, 100 milers, 24-hour runners, and 12-hour night runners, or more precisely, it's for their crew or pacers that are coming in the night. There will not be a gate staff there. We won't be staffing the front gate throughout the night. It's just not, we just don't have the resources to do that. And the conservation area doesn't want the gate being left open. We don't have the ability to leave the gate open. They do, and they prefer not to do so. They like to monitor who's coming in and out, which makes sense. So from 4:30 p.m., that's when the gate staff from the conservation area leaves for the day. From 4:30 till 7, there will be no way to get into the park unless you pay at the automated machine, which, I mean, really that's what everyone's supposed to be doing anyways who's not a participant. So pacers and spectators are supposed to be paying to enter the park. So it's not an issue. They can do so and until 7 o'clock. From 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock, we will have a volunteer there opening the gate for people because they are preparing for the 12-hour night race. And then beyond 9 p.m., this is the real important part that you need to tell your pacers. From 9 o'clock p.m. until 7 o'clock a.m., there will be no one at the gate. So beyond 9 o'clock, I don't believe that the gate will work even if you pay. It's just shut down for the night. So the only way to get in at that point is to park on one of the side streets and walk in. And it would be about a 1 kilometer walk for your pacers or your crew or your spectators. So best case scenario is tell them to arrive between 7 and 9 p.m. or tell them to arrive after 7 a.m. the next day or be prepared to walk. Aid station. So the aid station, we have a 1980s theme this year. We're going to be playing music from the 80s. We have some 80s decorations, and who doesn't love the 80s? Well, I know lots of people don't love the 80s. I love the 80s. Let's talk about what will be at the aid station. So there's going to be lots of drink options. We're going to have fluid electrolyte drink, and I did post what the nutritional breakdown is. It's essentially 100 calories per serving. It's very similar in breakdown to like your Scratch or your Tailwind. If you haven't tried it, the flavor that we have is blueberry pomegranate. It's very, very light. It is not a sweet tasting drink. It tastes like a watered down electrolyte drink, even though we're mixing it exactly as directed. It's intentionally a very light flavor so that you don't have that gut rot. So we'll be serving fluid electrolyte drink, which is vegan and gluten-free. You have a question, Byron?
No, just to add on, and for what it's worth, I used it when I ran in the 45-degree weather 2 weeks ago or 2 weekends ago. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great drink. That's why we're serving it, is we actually do really think it's the best. We pay for this electrolyte drink. We are not sponsored. Just like we love Scratch as well. We were never sponsored by any of these companies. We use what we think is the best for our runners, and we pay for the electrolyte drink. So at the end of the season, we'll probably want your feedback on it because we're trying to make a decision on what we want to do next year. So we'll also have Coke ginger ale. We're going to be having iced coffee throughout the day. We'll have fruit, chips, cookies, and then in the night, we're going to be serving pierogies, grilled cheese or cheese quesadillas, or maybe both, and soup and tater tots. And we'll try to have hot options throughout the night as well. And we'll be switching things up as we go. Keep in mind that this is a cupless event. So I know that that's not really an issue for the longer distance racers, but frequently we get 7K and 21K runners who have never done a cupless race before. So essentially it means we don't have cups at the aid station. You have to bring something. You have to have some type of vessel to fill up with whatever drink you want. The next one, just real quick, we will have La Sportiva. Again, we don't get any kickback from any of these people. We are trying to just provide opportunities for our racers. They are bringing a fleet of shoes to all of our events. They've been awesome to work with, and the only kickback that we receive really is the ability to give away 2 free pairs of shoes at every race, which we give to the participants. So visit the La Sportiva booth, fill out a ballot, and you'll have a chance to win some La Sportiva running shoes. That, from my experience, I love them. I think that they're great. And they also usually give away a couple shirts at the races as well. So visit the La Sportiva booth, and if you want, you can even wear a pair of their shoes for a lap or 2 or 10 or whatever you want. They do have their demo fleet there, and you're welcome to use them. And really, this is the perfect race to try them out, because you're back at the start finish every 7 kilometers. Live stream. We are live streaming this race. Byron, do you want to talk a little bit more about it, especially like the hours that we will be live streaming and what will be happening throughout the night?
So for the live stream, we're gonna definitely have the start of the race, all the pre-race announcements going on the live stream. We'll be doing some of the things that we've been figuring out for the last races, which is, impromptu interviews, checking in on folks, seeing how they're doing, and asking questions, and just kind of keeping it interactive. Overnight, we'll likely just kind of have a camera on the Gong Show, and maybe another camera on the start finish arch, and and keep that in frame and just let it run overnight. As I get up and kind of mosey about, might do some special things here and there, but that'll effectively be it, and then it'll pick up again in the morning when all the excitement comes with the shorter races and whatnot.
That's great. And I mentioned, Byron, in the pre-race email to people that if you want to send a message to somebody at home, come over to the booth and send a message. Like, we would love to have you at any point during the race. Come on over and say, like, I want to say hi to my son and daughter who are going to be watching. We love that. Like, that's the point. So definitely, if you want to be on the live stream, we would absolutely love to have you on the live stream and give a shout out to whoever you want. That's the whole purpose of it. So I hope that people do take advantage of that. Before I move on, I did see one question real quick in the chat about parking at night, and will there be parking availability? And that's the best time to come and park, actually, because the busiest will be first thing in the morning, and then by the nighttime, the 6-hour runners have left, and there are a lot of 6-hour runners. So there's a lot of empty spots, and then also, the 12-hour daytime runners will be leaving. And so plenty of parking at nighttime. That's not an issue.
We also have a question about the tents.
Okay, like setting up tents.
How much space there is, and there's tons of space, isn't there?
There's lots of space.
Yeah.
There's always plenty of space, and it's a lot of fun walking around there at night. And I like to just, when things start to slow down a little bit in the night, I like to go around and visit the different people and hear your stories and that sort of thing. There's lots of space, but there's virtually no flat space. Like, it's all on a little bit of an angle, the entire area. So just keep that in mind. You're not going to find the perfect spot, but it's definitely suitable, and there's lots of space. I recommend not being too close to the porta potties, because that's fine at first, but by Sunday, it's not the best spot to be. So there's lots of room, and you're welcome to set those up Friday or anytime on Saturday as well. Also, we're going to have the recovery zone at this race again. So we're going to have Kevin from the Trail Yogi leading you through stretches. Take advantage of him. That's what he's there for. He wants you to come and he'll help you stretch. It's a great way to just, like, when you're starting to feel tight and like you don't want to run anymore, take 10 minutes, go over and see him. He'll lead you through some stretches, and it's a game changer. Like, totally feel better after that. We would love to have the opportunity to have the cold plunge tanks at this race again. We'll have them again later in the season, but we just don't have access to running water and electricity, so we can't have them at this race, unfortunately. Dropping. If you're going to drop, that's totally fine. Keep in mind that if you're doing a timed race, the 6-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour, there are no DNFs, right? So as long as you start, you can stop whenever you want. You're welcome to stop. We just ask that you let the timing. You don't even have to tell us. You don't even have to come up and tell us. It might be like, if we look like we're preoccupied, just go over to the chip time results and let them know that you're done. And then otherwise, we do tend to worry and panic a little bit, making sure that everyone's okay on the course. So please don't leave without saying goodbye. I have a tendency to do that. I like to leave without saying goodbye to people. Don't do that at this race. Please go over and tell the chip time people that you're done for the day and that you're leaving. Thank you. Okay, in your final loop of the race, if you're in the timed race, we will have kilometer markers out there. So partial loops do count. So if you have 20 minutes left before the end of the race and you finish a loop and you think, well, I have 20 minutes, I can still get in another 3 kilometers, I'm going to run for it. We totally go by the honor system. We don't have somebody at each of the kilometer markers and only full kilometers marked. But if you get to the 3rd kilometer, by the time you hear that air horn, then, or, if you're going by the exact time on your watch, which is also suitable, we add those on. So after you get back, and keep in mind that if you go out 3 kilometers or 4 kilometers, you also have to get back 3 or 4 kilometers. But once you get back, talk to Dana at the chip timing or whoever's at the chip timing tent and say, I did an extra 3 kilometers, and they will add it onto your distance. We ask that you do that, that you try to get back as quickly as possible so that we can do awards for those events. And we want them to be as accurate as possible. So we want to give you the extra distance that you add on. Chip timing will have live results on their website. So you can, like, in addition to the live streaming, family and friends can tune into that. Chip timing won't personally be there in the middle of the night. They go home. Dana lives nearby, so she goes home and keeps everything running, keeps the generator going, and we kind of help staff that a little bit if there's any issues. But then anything, we just make notes of it, and they correct everything in the morning when she arrives bright and early. So, if you stop, we just make a note of it and hand it on to her. So no problem at all. Pacers. Pacers can start after 9 p.m. If you're over the age of 65, your pacer can start whenever they want. And we also have, I don't know if he's on right now, but we do have a 100-mile runner who is in the 100-mile race. We have a couple younger athletes in this event, but in the 100-miler, we do have somebody under the age of 18 who I have given a special consideration for a pacer as early as needed, just because he is technically a liner. So I just want to make sure that he's safe. I feel more comfortable if he has a pacer. So if there's a special circumstance, medical condition or anything like that, where you need to have a pacer beforehand, just talk to me. I'm very reasonable with this sort of thing. Safety is my number one priority. So if it's in your best interest, then it's in my best interest as well. And I'll certainly allow that. But just let me know beforehand so that we like to know everybody that's out on the course. Swag. So those of you anybody who completes their race or starts their time race, you're going to get this great medal, which has a coaster back. It can be removed and used as a coaster. So there's your finishing medal. If you do the 100-miler, we have a special belt buckle for you. This is the sub 24-hour belt buckle. There's also one that's almost identical, just doesn't say sub 24. And then we have a belt buckle for our male, female, and non-binary Gong Show champions. Anyone else in the Gong Show, remember, you don't get anything. That's what you get for you're either first or you're a DNF. Those are Laz's rules. We have shorts this year. This is the women's cut T-shirt, but it's hard to kind of see all of the colors in that. So everyone will get a T-shirt, a sticker, buff, and we also have awards for the top 3 male, female, and non-binary in each of the different races. So something else that we're doing this year for the first time, you can probably see these boards behind me. One says 100 miles, one says 24 hours. So for the 100-miler, the 24-hour, and the Gong Show events, so let me just show you. So we have these boards, and they all have squares on them. They have bib numbers and names. So for example, bib 554 is Jennifer. When you arrive at the race, we are going to take your picture, and your picture is then going to get glued onto your slot. and we're going to help you in the Gong Show. We'll tally your laps for you. And if you're in the 24-hour or the 100-miler, we're going to have markers out so that you can keep track, or your crew can keep track and keep a tally going. So it's just a fun way to see who's still out on the course. And also it's a great way for us to learn everyone's names so that we can cheer for you by name. So it's just a fun element that we're adding this year. And in the Gong Show, when you are done, when you haven't made the time cutoff or you've had enough, I don't know. Byron, what do you think? Should we put a big X through their face, or should we give them take their picture down and give it to them so they can put it by their bedside and think about it every night, how far? Hopefully they're proud of their accomplishments, not disappointed. We'll see. We'll think about what we do with that.
The X's are kind of fun, but maybe
the X's are kind of fun. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to try our best to keep the volume low before 8 a.m. at the conservation area's request. So from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. we'll be blasting that 80s music at the aid station. In the night we'll turn the volume down for everything, and for the first couple of hours of the race on Saturday, volume will be a little bit lower out of respect for the neighbors. The volume really does travel through the valley, so we'll do our best for that. And I think that's everything, Byron. I think that's everything I have. So let's answer some questions.
So there's really only one question here that I'm not certain of, and that is the Gong Show. If they do 23 laps, they get a 100-mile belt buckle, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they get a 100-mile buckle after 23 loops, and if they choose to do the 24th loop, then they officially maybe finish the Gong Show. Of course, there's only going to be one male, one female, one non-binary winner, but you could be a finisher. And just a quick little story. The very first year that we did this, Byron, you'll recall this. We had an unbelievable race that year, like we have every single year. Every year except one. Yeah. We've had multiple people make it to the end. That's right. And then the final loop is a race, a 7-kilometer race at the end. Yeah. The only year that we didn't have anyone make it the distance was that really rainy, torrential downpour year that I was talking about. Conditions were horrible, and we didn't have anybody make it the 24 hours. But I'm sure there's listeners right now that were part of this race, and there were a number of people who, after their 23rd loop, I said, well, you can take your belt buckle now, or you can do the last loop and give it a go. And almost everybody chose to take that belt buckle, and then later regretted not doing that final loop. So the Gong Show is actually 168 kilometers, and 100 miles is 161 kilometers. So it's an extra loop. So most people regretted not doing that final loop, especially since there was one individual that was very easily winning each lap throughout the whole day, way faster than everybody else, which was part of the reason why people didn't want to do the last loop, because they just thought that they couldn't compete with it. And that person didn't end up finishing the final loop. Halfway turned around, and we learned a lot that year about the importance of pacing properly in the Gong Show, but in all of these races, 100-mile races, any long distance race, it's really important to pace yourself. So yes, the short answer is yes. Anyone who finishes 23 loops will get a 100-mile belt buckle. Yeah. I'm also gonna add one thing, Byron. What's that? And I probably shouldn't be advertising this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Okay. For those of you who are in the 24-hour race, if you get to 24 hours and you've done 21 or 22 loops, and you are so close to that 100-mile that 100-mile distance, and you really want to go out and do that, do it. Just go do it. If it's 25 hours, just go do it. Yeah. Okay. We want to see you reach your goals. We want the best for you. We want you to have a great experience. So if there's anything that we can do, whether it's myself or Byron or any of the aid station volunteers, if there's anything that you need, please don't hesitate to ask. It's a really long 30 hours for us as well, but there are moments in there where we don't have anything to do, and we're looking for things to do, and we want to help you. We want you to be successful. Nothing makes me happier than coming home after a race weekend and being able to share stories about the people that I found so inspiring, things that they did and barriers that they overcame and that sort of thing. So please, if there's anything I can do, don't hesitate to ask. And, we've had volunteers go out there, stop what they're doing and go and run a lap or two with the participants because they don't have anybody and they're really starting to suffer. And, we'll do that again this year.
Yeah. There's one thing, I've got a question up here. I think we'll just sort of reiterate something that you had said earlier, but one thing that happened last year is there was somebody that was sort of sleeping on a bench, and if that happens, you got to let us know about that so that we can get the park officials to clear them out.
Right. So I think you were talking about on the rail trail, right?
That's right.
So there's 2 kilometers on the rail trail. The rail trail is a section of trail. If you're not from the area, it goes all the way from Hamilton to Brantford. It's a very long trail, and it gets traveled 24 hours a day, basically. So there's very little traffic on it in the evening, but it happens. There could be people wandering the trail at night. And last year, we have had situations before where we have unhoused people on the trail sleeping, and just let us know if you feel like there's any safety concerns for you or anybody else. Let us know, and we'll do the best that we can to take care of that situation.
That's right. Now the question here, I think this is about folks that are coming in later in the day. Now the park is closed at 4:30, so after that 4:30 they'll have to pay to get in.
Right, but Byron, I should be clear that even before 4:30, they're expected to pay. The spectators and crew are expected, even if there's a gate staff there.
Right.
The gate staff is going to have you pay. It's just that you'll have the option to pay a live person instead of the automated machine.
Fair enough. Yep. Okay. We're excited about the 80s theme too, Star. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got a playlist going.
Oh, great.
I figured a new way to create playlists with their little AI tool. So
awesome. Yeah.
We'll
I'm excited about it. Byron and I have our matching outfits ready, and it's going to be a lot of
fun. Do they have in and out privileges?
Yeah. Just let them know. Let them know when you're re-entering the park that you've already been in the park, and then they won't charge you again. For our participants, we do have to pay for every participant that enters the park. So if you're a participant and for whatever reason, you're leaving and then coming back, like not to continue running in the race, because once you leave the park, you can't leave the park as a participant. But if you're coming back to cheer other people on and you were a runner, just let them know at the gate that you've already been in, and that it's the re-entry, and then you won't be charged.
Yeah, that sounds good. I don't have anything else on my mind. Doesn't look like anybody else have any questions. Oh, hold on. Are there any porta potties located on the course? No, just at the start finish, hey?
Just at the start finish, there actually often is a porta potty. I can't make any guarantees, but there's often one just in front of the trail center. So that would be at about 5 kilometers into the race. And during the daytime, when the conservation area is open, the trail center will be open, which is at it's about 4.75 kilometers. And there's washrooms inside the trail center. So essentially for a lot of the day, you will have proper washrooms at 4.5 to 5 kilometers, and then the porta potties, and possibly another porta potty outside the trail center that is a conservation area one.
Yeah, Mark
is
saying there was one at the trail center.
We have that tap at 4.5 kilometers just as you're exiting the rail trail. So you can fill up your bottles and dunk your head when it's hot, that sort of thing.
How far do you think the parking lot is from the start finish? Like 400 meters, 300 meters,
Less than 400 meters.
200
it's about
meters.
200.
200 meters.
From the very front of the parking lot to the race headquarters is about 200 meters.
200 meters. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just write that down.
Great questions. I'm just also kind of going through the chat. I think we've answered everything.
Yeah, I think so.
How much space is there for tent? Yeah, we talked about that. And will the air horn be able to hear? That's a good question. From Isaac. Will the air horn be able to be heard everywhere on the course? I think so, but if not, just go by your watch. If your watch battery isn't dead, but you should be able to hear the air horn.
You think it's going to be that loud?
It's pretty loud. Yeah, it's pretty loud. But if not, go by because like you're never. It's a 7-kilometer loop, but you're never more than probably never more than 2K in a straight line. Probably even less than that from the race start because of if you were to look at an aerial view of the map course, the race headquarters is close to being in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll give it a minute, I guess.
Yeah. If you have any last minute questions, now's a great time to ask that.
I think where the flattest part is in there, other than where we're going to have the aid station, is up on that hump, kind of a little bit back from where it all happens.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's an area for people who are setting up tents. That's an area that doesn't get utilized as much as it probably could.
Yeah.
The far side, it's a little bit quieter back there. It's a great spot. It's a little bit more private. So if you have crew that really want to sleep in the night, that's a great spot. Very, very back of the field where the race headquarters is. It's a good one. In terms of the direction of the race, so the direction is that we're in a clockwise year this year, which people tend to say it's an uphill year because you're uphill on the rail trail. Rail trail is flat-ish, but it's certainly not flat. It feels flat when you're on it for a very short period of time, but you will all definitely agree that it is not flat because you're running it in the uphill direction. Personally, this is my preference. The direction that we're running this year, I find to be the more manageable one because I just don't like the other way. It's nice going down the rail trail, and this year you're going up the rail trail, but the rest of the course, I feel like the other direction you start the loop with a bunch of climbs, like back to back to back climbs, and I find that that's a little bit more challenging. So I think that this is the better of the 2 years, but most people disagree with me.
Yeah. Isaac's got another one here asking if there are any animals or plants that we need to worry about kind of like at night.
Well, there's lots of plants that you have to watch out for at night because they only come out at night and they'll try to get you. Actually, that's actually a really good question. There is maybe you're thinking about like poison ivy or giant hogweed, which can be found in the conservation area. So it's nowhere near the trail, so stay on the trail. Yeah. And in terms of animals, there is I'd say a pretty reasonable chance that you will see some type of wildlife if you're running through the night. You probably will not see coyotes. That's the one thing that people tend to be the most worried about. There's a very good chance that you will hear coyotes. We hear them pretty much every year when we're at the park. We can hear them because their voice travels so far, but it's really, really unlikely that you'll see them. There's a decent chance that you'll see raccoon. You'll probably see deer in the night, especially over there's a field by the trail center. You'll see lots of eyes. If the eye is close to close to the ground, like in the field areas, it's deer. Up in the trees, it's raccoons. And then usually we see a skunk or two as well, but not on the rail trail. So there's no animals that you really need to worry about. So sometimes there's an area of cedars, like a beautiful cedar section that you run through. And I've seen a number of owls in that section, so keep your eye peeled for them. And one of the coolest animals that we have in the area is found in this park, and that is the flying squirrel. So we actually do have flying squirrels in the Dundas Valley Conservation Area because it is considered a Carolinian forest, and we have some interesting creatures that kind of only reside in this area. I've seen one flying squirrel in my life, and I've been in the Dundas Valley for 47 years. I've seen one, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it was pretty much on the Tally in the Valley race course. So you might see it, you'll only see them at night because they are nocturnal, but if you see a flying squirrel, let me know because I want to hear that story.
Yeah, really. I've only seen one in Sudbury at a museum.
Yeah, they're super cool. Very small.
Rachel, just clarifying something here. If somebody's paid to enter the park when there's staff there, can they still leave and come back without paying a second time? I don't think so.
No, they can. They just have to let them, like, most likely. So when you're leaving the park, if you know for sure that you're going to be coming back, you can let them know, and they will give you like a receipt so that you can come back. But you'll probably get a receipt when you enter anyways if you pay.
How would you use the receipt when there's no attendant?
It'll still give you a
scan?
Yeah, it'll still give you a receipt. Yeah.
So they can scan it up until about 9 p.m. then? Yeah,
I believe so. But either way, the staff of the Dundas Valley Conservation Area, they're well aware of our situation. And if you explain to them that you've already been in, they will absolutely let you go back in without paying. They'll take your word for it.
Are you allowing pacers for the later laps for Gong Showers?
Oh, absolutely not. There are sorry, that sounded a little harsh. No, there are no pacers allowed for Gong Show runners. I will say though that the Gong Show runners don't really need pacers. And when the Gong Show runners signed up, that was pretty clear on the registration page that there's no pacers from the Gong Show. But the Gong Show runners typically, not always, but typically run together
as a pack
in 2 or 3 different little groups. So they mostly stick together. So they pace each other. And that's part of what I love about the Gong Show is the camaraderie within that event. Mm-hmm. Good question, but no pacers for the Gong Show. You can have a pacer for any of the other events that go through the night, though, starting at 9 p.m. Is that it, Byron, you think?
Yeah, maybe give it about 30 seconds. Last time we did that, we got a series of questions that sort of came to people's mind. But let's see.
Yeah, again, we're all really excited for this race and looking forward to it. So hopefully you're as excited as we are and you're starting to make your race preparations, doing whatever you need to do, and no more long runs. nothing more than 5K at this point.
That's it. Okay, well, you know what? That kind of makes 30 seconds, so no additional calls, so we'll wrap it up.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and this will be available afterwards as well, correct, Byron?
Yep. Yeah, it will.
Yep. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Saturday and Sunday. Get some rest and do any last-minute preparations, and let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you on your journey.
Awesome. All right.
Okay. Thank you.